Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, Chapter 3, The Birth of Lord Krishna. Text 26. Please repeat. Yaha ayam kalaha tasya te avyaktabando cheshtam ahu cheshtate yena vishvam nimeshadihi vatsarantaha mahiyan tam paishanam kshemadhama prapadye yoyam khalastasya te vyaktabando cheshtamahus-cheshtate yena vishvam nimeshadir-vatsaranto mahiyams tam peshanam kshemadhama prapadye. Yaha, that which I am, this kalaha, time, minutes, hours, seconds, tasya, of him, te, of you, avyaktabando, O my Lord, who are the inaugurator of the unmanifested, the original Mahatattva or Prakriti. Cheshtam, attempt or pastimes. Ahu, it is said. Cheshtate, works. Ena, by which. Vishwam, the entire creation. Nimeshadihi, beginning with minute parts of time. Minute parts of time. Vatsarandaha, up to the limit of a year. Mahiyan, powerful. Tam, unto your lordship. Tam Ishanam, Ishanam, unto you, the supreme controller. Kshemadhama, the reservoir of all auspiciousness. Prapadye, I offer full surrender. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Translation. O inaugurator of the material energy, this wonderful creation works under the control of powerful time, which is divided into seconds, minutes, hours, and years. This element of time, which extends for many millions of years, is but another form of Lord Vishnu. For your pastimes, you act as the controller of time, but you are the reservoir of all good fortune. Let me offer my full surrender unto your Lordship. Purport. He stated it in the Brahma Samhita 552. Chakshuresha Savita Sakala Grahanam Raja Samasta Suramurti Rasesa Teja Yasyanyaya Brahmati Sampratakala Chakro Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. The sun is the king of all planetary systems and has unlimited potency in the form of heat and light. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, under whose control even the sun, which is considered to be the eye of the Lord, rotates within the fixed orbit of eternal time. Although we see the cosmic manifestation as gigantic and powerful, wonderful, it is within the limitations of Kala, the time factor. This time factor is also controlled by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, Maya Dakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam. Prakriti, the cosmic manifestation, is under the controller of time. Under the control of time. Indeed, everything is under the control of time. And time is controlled by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, the Supreme Lord has no fear on the onslaughts of time. Time is estimated according to the movements of the sun, Savita. Every minute, every second, every day, every night, every month, and every year of time can be calculated according to the sun's movements. But the sun is not independent, for it is under time's control. Brahmati Samprata Kala Chakra. The sun moves within the Kala Chakra, the orbit of time. The sun is under control of time, and time is controlled by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, the Lord has no fear of time. The Lord is addressed here as Avyakta Bandhu, or the inaugurator of the movement of the entire cosmic manifestation. Sometimes the cosmic manifestation is compared to a potter's wheel. When a potter's wheel is spinning, who has set it in motion? It is the potter, of course. Although sometimes we can see only the motion of the wheel and cannot see the potter himself. Therefore, the Lord, who is behind the motion of the cosmos, is called Avyakta Bandhu. Everything is within the limits of time, but time moves under the direction of the Lord, who is therefore not within time's limit. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikasa Swami Namo. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namo. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Bhashtati Deshpara. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakti Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Yoyam kalastasya te vyaktabandho cheshtamahus cheshtate yena vishvam nimeshadir vatsaranto mahiyams tam presham Kshemadhama Prapadhe. In translation, O inaugurator of the material energy, this wonderful creation works under the control of powerful time, which is divided into seconds, minutes, hours, and years. This element of time, which extends for many millions of years, is but another form of Lord Vishnu. For your pastimes, You act as the controller of time, but you are the receiver of all good fortune. Let me offer my full surrender unto your lordship. Hare Krishna. So here we are continue to hear the prayers by Mother Devaki. So in this particular verse speaks about um, the time, time's origin, speaks about the cause of time, and who does not fear the fear of the fearful time. So Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur explains the previous verse. It appears from the previous verse, it appears that time is independent. Why? Because if we just read the previous verse translation, it says that after millions of years at the time of cosmic annihilation, when everything manifested and unmanifested is annihilated by the force of time, the five gross elements enter into the subtle conception and the manifested categories enter into the unmanifested substance. At that time, you alone remain and you are known as Anantashesha Naga. So here if we see that just there is no mention that time is uh, controlled by our someone or it appears like time is independent. Even though it says that the Lord is remains even after the annihilation, but still it appears like the time is independent. So Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says, therefore, this verse is spoken that the time is not independent. Time has a cause. So time has its origin. To explain that point, the Mother Devaki speaks this point and this verse. So Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says that the time is your Kriya Sakti or Cheshta. Therefore, the Lord is addressed as the instigator of Prakriti, Avyakta Bandho. By the influence of time, the universe runs. What is time? Time is nimesha or moments amounting to years, which again multiply into day of Brahma, Viparartha. So therefore, Mother Devaki says that I surrender to you. Since you are fearless, you can make me fearless. So this is very nice that anytime we use this kind of saying like someone is bind up with hands and legs, all he can't help others to release, because he himself is bound up, So, or blind can't lead other blind, So similarly, here Mother Devaki says that since you are fearless, you can make me fearless. So that's only possible that because everyone else in this material world is fearful. Uh, so this is very nice. So in this purport, Srila Prabhupada, his purport, you see repeatedly three times he established that point that Lord has no fear of time. There's two paragraphs, and the middle of first paragraph, first time he says, then again, at the end of the paragraph. Then again the second end of the second paragraph. Also same point he repeats. So this is very interesting to understand because it's important to understand because Krishna is the supreme. When you say Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, he is supreme of everything. Everything he controls. He is supreme controller. Means everything exists. So Kala also, as Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says, it is Kriya Shakti. So the Kala is also, the time factor also is controlled by the Supreme Lord. So, and we, all of us, experience how the time is so powerful. It's just, everything is, by that time is diminished. Everything, whatever we see in this world, even though we build very strong, huge stone temple, complete stone, but it can compare to other buildings, it can last much longer, but you can't say it will remain forever. However strong you may be, however powerful you may be, however famous, whatever great quality you may have, you may be the great scholar, all the Vedic knowledge, or you may know, but whatever the quality you may have with the greatest extent, but still you can't escape from the time. Time will diminish you. So diminish us and also everything we create in this world. And practically we see that everything is happening like that, So particularly when someone is impious, has no faith on the Supreme Lord, and then we see those impious people very much fear of death. The fear of death is so strong. Is a greatest fear. No one wants, and no one even likes to speak about it, about the death. As soon as you say that, why you, Swamiji, is speaking about death? So many things, nice things are there, so many beautiful things, nice, sweet things are there. You speak about that. Why, about death? Nobody even likes to hear the word about uh, death. So, but people are fear because they identify with the body, and the body is going to, diminish by the power of time. He is going to lose the body. So, because he identifies himself with the body and he so much attached to the body, and when you are attached to something and you are holding strongly, and by force, if you remove that attachment, is painful. Prabhupada says you just come, hold very strongly the pillar, and someone comes and pulls you out of the pillar by force. It's painful because you are very strongly holding it. So therefore, is a painful. Gives a fear. So And another thing is people are fear of death uh, because they don't know what is next, their destination, where they are going, uh, what is going to happen for them next after the death. Uh, they have no idea. They don't hear from the Shastra, from the sadhus, from devotees, so they have no idea. They all speculate so many things. Mostly they think that after the death everything is finished. Uh, there is no life, there is no karma, there is no uh, everything uh, finished when you die, they think. But actually, it's not a fact. In Bhagavad Gita, we understand in the beginning, Krishna explains that Kaumaram, Yavanam, Jara, there is different level. The body is growing or body is changing. Already we are experiencing it, even in this life. Within this body, we are all of us experiencing it, that the body is changing. It's completely is changing. We can't even identify ourselves. Like if you give a photo of yourself when you are 6 months old, your parents may taken, and if they show you, which you never seen before, and nobody tells you this is your photo, and you can't recognize, you won't know. Even 2, 3 year old photo or a 5 year, 10-year-old photo also, it's very difficult now after 30, 40 years to recognize. So the body is completely changing now also. We are experiencing it. And why not? After the death, we change another body. Because they think there is no soul, so then because they have no concept of soul, so they think like that. But actually, doesn't make sense. So because they identify with the body and they know they are going to lose the body, and not only the body, whatever else they are attached to it, the relatives, the close uh, friends, and all society and the wealth and the house and so many things they are attached to it, and they are going to lose everything. Everything. Time is going to take away. It's not just the body, not just one thing. It's everything he is going to lose. He's forced to give up everything. So therefore, is so painful and is fearful. So and we see that so many people all the time is lamenting, crying, so sad because they lose someone very dear to them. And it's always, it's in the past, now, always is happening. In Mahabharata, you see that Vidura speaking to Dhritarashtra after Dhritarashtra lost his sons in the battle of Kurukshetra, and he was so much lamenting because we all know that Dhritarashtra was so much attached to his sons, particularly Duryodhana. And then, Vidura comes and he says that when time comes, no one can escape. What is the point? You are lamenting. Everybody, you are also going to leave your body. I'm also going to leave my body. So everybody going to leave body. So when time comes, no one can escape. So that's the power of time. So he explains that there are many times actually, just to Dhritarashtra, even Sanjay also, so there is several times explains. And many other literatures, Bhagavatam itself also we see. There are so many different personalities. They lament, and then some Rishi, Narada Muni or somebody comes and then they preach to them. So it's always is happening. So why? Because the time is so powerful. Time is, you can't get it back. Time is gold. People say is so valuable. Even gold you may purchase, but the time you can't get it even in a second. If it is gone, that's it. So recently, Guru Maharaj given lecture on Vishnu Sahasranam. Time I am follows me from Bhagavad Gita, and the word is there. So in that lecture, he mentions one story, the Mesopotamian folklore. There is a rich man, and he has a servant. The servant went to the market to purchase something, and he saw little distance there is a death personification looking at him. And when he saw that, he was scared. And he just so quickly finished his thing and he just ran to his master. And then he asked, give me one horse. I want to run away. I want to escape. That there is a death personification looking at me. So he was running. He, with the horse, he's going. He went to Baghdad, the next country, from Iran to Baghdad. It is happened in Iran, then he went to the next country. Then he died there. Then the master, the rich man, happened to see the death personification, and he asked him, the rich man asked the death personification, why did you chase my servant, so much, all the way? And he said, no, I didn't chase. I just saw him in the market. I was looking at him because I was wondering, because I have a appointment with him in Baghdad afternoon, but he is here. How is going to happen? I was wondering. And he just, So the point is, we all understand that when time comes, nobody can escape. Whatever you do, however you may, try to protect yourself. There's another famous story that, man is try to, smear all over his body the stool to escape from the hemorrhage. So similarly, the people try in so many ways. Long back in my childhood, I heard another story. I don't know exactly. I don't remember. There was, I think, some astrologer came to a king and he told that your son, the prince, will be killed by lion. And then the king is, king, he has lots of soldiers and so powerful, and he say, okay, why my son should die to lion? So of course the son, he used to go sometime for the hunting in the forest. So he said that no more hunting, no more going to the forest. So if he remains in the palace, if he doesn't go out, then there's he can escape from the lion. So that was his plan, and he put also, in case if lion comes inside the palace, so just to protect, he put all army around and so many soldiers, so much weapons and everything was protected, and and even within the palace particular section where it's completely is closed, very restricted area. So the prince was living like that. And then one day something happened, and one of the huge pillar was there, and he fell down and smashed the friends, and he died. And then they noticed that in that pillar the lion is carved. So he died because of lion. So the point is, the story again, like this Mesopotamian folklore says that when time comes, you are going to, you know, finish. There is no way to escape. So for impious people, it's very fearful, very painful, and no one likes to. Uh, but same time, if you are a pious person, if you have faith on God, and if you engage yourself in the service of God, if you follow Dharma, and you don't have to be fear of death or anything. And in the same lecture, Guru Maharaj quotes the incident in his own life. Happened that, he quotes about his grandmother when he was young, and he visited his grandmother, and grandmother was about to leave body because of cancer, and she said that I lived a good life, I have no fear. And Maharaj said, yes, she was lived. It was not like the up to the standard of like a Hindu, uh, dharmic people here in India, not like that standard, but she lived a good life. So she was no fear. She didn't have a fear of death, even though she was in the deathbed. And there is a similar thing. I also have remember my grandmother when she left body, my father's mother. She was like 88 or something, 87, 88, something. And she never taken any medicine, any tablet or any injection all life. Never went to doctor. She lived a very healthy life. And she was very pious lady also. And she just went somewhere nearby, and then one evening she just came and sat in the front of our house, and then she just asked my sister to bring a little water. And my sister went inside the house to bring water, and just before she came, and she just left body. She just sat, and then when my sister came, and she just lay down and just left the body. No any pain, no any fear, nothing. It's very peaceful. So it's rare to see nowadays like that. People living body, people are very fearful. They pass urine, they pass to out of fear, because people are mostly very. Of course, there are pious people, but many of them are impious. They are very sinful. So we all understand from Ajamil's story. They see why the fear, because they see the Amadutas, which is very fearful. Uh, so, for pious people, also Guru Maharaj says about the Kadambakanana Swami recently left body. And when Maharaj met him, he also said, I have no fear. So there are many incidents we can see that Kokutur also quotes. There is a incident happened in Navadvip, the bank of Ganges. There are particular place where they burn the dead bodies. And one day he was so curious to see what's happened when burned up and they burn the body. Uh, like in Puri also, there is Swargadvar, there's so many bodies every day they burn. So like that, some place was there, and Gokul Prabhu and his friend, they went and they just want to see. So some body was burning, and then some of the relatives nearby they were there, and it was some old lady. The mother died, and her son was standing nearby, and because Prabhu is foreigner and he noticed that he is looking something, so that son, he came and spoke to Gokul Prabhu, and he said that he was very cool and he was not crying, he was not, lamenting so much. And he said, yeah, no problem. My mother was chanting 64 rounds Hare Krishna mantra, and she is all life devoted to Krishna. And he know what will be the result. And he was very cool, and, and so many things he spoke about it. And he was, Gokul Prabhu was so surprised that, this much people can take it to their death. It's, so cool and so, peacefully, because they have understanding. When you are lived a pious life, when you live devotional life, the result, will be very good. For good people, for pious people, you don't have to fear. You don't have to, worry about it. So that's the point. Therefore, one have to understand that everything is controlled by the Supreme Lord. And if you, like Krishna says, Maya Takshena Prakriti, the Prakriti is controlled by the Supreme Lord. And what is the Prakriti? Mama Maya, he says, is his energy. And Mama Maya, Duratya, is very difficult to overcome. We are all struggling to overcome of this Maya, this material energy. But he says, Ma me ve prapatyate, if you surrender unto me, and it's very easy. Maya me tam tarantate. So very easily you can overcome. Like, when you're driving vehicle, there are so many times we see that traffic police stands somewhere and then they capture all the two-wheelers who has no helmet, who has no license, who has, break the traffic rules, and they put the fine, So if you are, very close to the police commissioner, you are a son of police commissioner, or you are very close friend of police commissioner, if you know very well the police commissioner, immediately you just one phone call. So police commissioner will say, oh, hey, he's my friend, And then this fellow will say, okay, so please you go. He has no power to hold you anymore. He can't punish you. So similarly, the supreme power is Krishna. He controls everything. Even though the Maya, the time factor is everything is very powerful, no one can escape from it. But Krishna is the controller of even those powerful energy. That's what Prabhupada is explaining. The Surya is very powerful. Surya is the cause of all the origins, the all living being living here. All the planet, all the plants, all the vegetables, everything is growing because of Surya. But still, the sun is controlled by Kala, and Kala is controlled by the Supreme Lord. So Krishna is a supreme controller. That's the point is Prabhupada is explaining here and establishing. So, therefore, if we take shelter of the supreme controller, Krishna, as Mother Devaki is praying here, so, and we will have no fear because he is free from fear. And he doesn't have to fear of time or material energy or death personification. Moreover, they all fear of Krishna. The fear personification, he himself is fear of Krishna. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita also, Ashradadana Purusha Dharmasya Prantapa Aprapya Mam Nivartante Mrityu Samsara Vartmani. So if you are not faithful, if you are not engaged in this devotional service of Krishna, and then he says they return to the path of birth and death in the material world. Mrityu Samsara Vartmani. But this is in 9th chapter, Krishna says. Then again, in the 12th chapter, Krishna says, but if you worship me, etu sarvani karmani, giving up all your activities to me, ananyenaiva yogena, without a deviation, engage in devotional service, Tesham aham samatharta mrityu samsara sagara bhavami nachira partha maya veshita chetasam. So Krishna says, having fixed their minds upon me, O son of Pratha, for them I am the sweet deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. So one who is not faithful, and they will be pushed to the mrityu samsara vartmani. But if you engage in the service of Krishna, if you are faithful to Krishna, then Krishna he himself is delivered. This famous picture in ISKCON, we have that Lord Vishnu comes on the back of Garuda. There is a devotee who is on the ocean and trying to get out, and he comes and gives the hand to lift. So Lord, he himself helps his devotee. So we are all so fortunate, and we have a great opportunity to take shelter of Krishna, particularly in this Kali Yuga. He appears as his holy name, Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna Avatar. It is very easy, very, very easy. There is no any pre-qualification needed. Anyone can take shelter of it and become fearless. So that should be our goal, and that should be taken seriously. Otherwise, one day the time will come and we will just leave this body again. We'll take birth again, just in samsara chakra will be rotating. So better use this great opportunity, and not only for ourselves, and we should try to give to others. That's desire of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's what he wants, and Krishna himself, it says, those people, the people who preach about this Krishna consciousness, they are very dear to me. So if we become very dear to Krishna, then we don't have to be fearful of anything. Of course, it doesn't mean that now, because we chant Hare Krishna, we become very puffed up, and then I don't care for Maya or something like that. Prabhupada says we have to be fear of Maya. We have to, pray to Krishna. We have to be humble. We can't just say, I am servant of Krishna. Actually, the real servant won't be like that. He will be very humble. So we have to be careful also. So these are a few points. Is there any question or comment related to it? Okay. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।